Hello, welcome. In this video I'm going to be doing a kitchen deep clean. Yesterday I had a mega batch cooking day. I am now in my 39th week of pregnancy, so getting the freezer stocked up. Super pleased with how that turned out and how many meals I got in the freezer, but in the process I truly destroyed the kitchen. I'm trying to be realistic about what I can achieve today because I tend to be doing a bit too much in pregnancy and exhausting myself lately. So what I want to achieve today is cleaning the oven, cleaning the hob, and then I think I will do the rest tomorrow. Okay, so here we have, here's the kids' kitchen. That's looking pretty tidy. Here's the real kitchen and the island is just covered with stuff. Not normally quite this busy. Oven that I want to clean today. And then we just have like the leftovers from breakfast. These two pots did some seriously heavy duty work yesterday and they have been soaking overnight, so I need to sort those out. And then it's just a bit busy and a bit messy up here. So let's go and start getting this oven cleaner on. So I'm using Oven Pride. I have used this several times before. This is my go-to oven cleaner and it basically just helps melt any fat and grease so that you can mostly wipe off the residue after a few hours. Ideally leave it on for like as long as possible, so this is why I'm doing it first. So firstly I'm just taking out baking trays, taking out all of the racks, and I also have some oven liners. So don't put the oven liners in with the Oven Pride, wash those separately. So I've got two oven liners and I've got a liner in my grill pan as well. So I'm putting my grill pan and my racks into this really thick plastic bag that comes with the Oven Pride. And then you put roughly about a half of the Oven Pride solution into the bag and give that a really good shake around. And then the remainder you'll put in the oven. So here I'm just popping it in to the bag. Now one thing that I have learned from experience is you really do need to seal the bag from one edge to the other. I know that might sound a bit silly, but if I'm somebody who has a tendency to seal from the middle outwards, it doesn't really work. So here I'm just putting the cleaner into the oven. I do put a little bit onto the glass. I think officially the advice on the packet is not to use it on glass, and I suspect that's because there's a risk of it spilling down the edge of the glass. I don't put it right to the edge and then I leave the doors open so that the solution can work. So here I'm just moving. I want to make sure I get all of the liquid onto every bit of the racks and the grill pan. And then, because I have had one occasion where I had a little bit of a leak out of the bag before, I put a bin bag down and then I put the bag on top. And my kids aren't home at the moment, so I'm pretty safe leaving that cleaner around, but it is pretty serious stuff, so you don't want to get it on your hands. Definitely use the gloves provided. And now emptying out the dishwasher so that I can start filling it up again with the residue of the day before batch cook. It's a wedding anniversary when I'm filming this, so that we had quite a bit of cardboard and envelopes to put in the recycling. It's our 6-year anniversary, 6-year wedding anniversary, which is sugar or candy. So there was also a giant tub of pick and mix I bought from my husband. And does anyone else do this? But I made sure that the mix of pick and mix that I chose included some of my favourites, so that I could steal some, like white chocolate mice and fruit salads. So my husband was really super thoughtful, bought me Turkish Delight from Fortnum & Mason, which is amazing, which was supposed to remind me of our first foreign holidays to Istanbul. And then he got me a box of fudge from the Edinburgh fudge shop to remind me of our first holiday at home in Edinburgh, which was super sweet. So I've just given these pans, the big pans I've soaked overnight from the batch cook, I've given them a bit of a clean with my Dishmatic, and dishwasher's on. Now I'm taking all of the racks and hob bits off. I put those in the utility. I've got a separate small utility. I filled that sink up with really hot soapy water just with fairy washing liquid and left those to soak. And now I'm washing the oven liners The oven liner in the top oven and the grill pan didn't take very long at all, but the oven liner that was in the bottom of the main oven was filthy. To our shame, we haven't cleaned our oven for about 10 months. We actually got it professionally cleaned just before Christmas of last year. We were just feeling a bit overwhelmed at the time, and it was really good, but it cost actually £60 to get our oven cleaned, and compared to the cost of the Oven Pride, you know, it's such a saving. And look at this water just from the oven liners. It was disgusting. So I had to use my what's it called, Scrub Daddy. So here I'm just taking out the filter from the extractor fan, and you can see some of the grease pooling there. I'm using elbow grease. I really love this. Anything greasy is so good. Just using up that last one there, and then I've got a new one which I'll spray all over. I get this from Poundland. I think it is such good value. Really, really good solution for anything sticky. And now I'm cleaning the actual extractor hood. You can see some like kind of greasy marks on the side there. They've been really bugging me. I use the Method multi-surface spray for this. I find the Method multi-surface spray really good for stainless steel. It came up really good, but when I was close to it, it wasn't perfect. And I decided that I would rinse it all off once I'd cleaned the glass, and I cleaned the underside of the glass, and I cleaned all around the controls and the lights and everything. Then I decided that I would rinse it off and I would just polish it up with my glass cleaner, which also works really well on stainless steel. And actually I should have left it as it was, because almost like it got worse before it got better. So I'm using my Star Drops glass and window cleaner, which I love, and I cannot get this at the moment. I'm down to the last dregs. I actually think I used it up doing a living room clean recently. So if you guys know where I can get hold of that, then great. But anyway, finally I managed to get the streaks off, and now I'm just making sure that I've kind of aggravated any grease that is in that filter. This was actually super quick and easy to do. I do clean the filter at least every few months, especially if I notice like any greasy bits gathering in it, because the last thing you want is like grease dripping out of the filter. And it's actually really easy to clean. So I've left that to dry, and now I'm coming back. This is a couple of hours later because I have been out to run a few errands. So the Oven Pride has done its magic, and mostly, certainly for the top oven, which we don't use as much, I just needed to rinse it and just make sure I get all of that solution off. And then on the glass, I'm just using the Scrub Daddy just to get a few bits of hard grease off. But that really wasn't too bad at all. For the bottom oven, I actually should mention, where it's a fan oven, I mean, look at this. Oh, look at this grease coming off the glass. Yeah. I don't put the oven cleaner on the very back where the fan mechanism is, because you just would never clean it off. So I've got this, it's a Minky like hob and glass cleaner, and it has a blade. You can either use it with the blade fully out or with a sharper kind of plastic edge. I have got the blade out for this. You can see how much easier it is at getting the sticky fat off. So the Oven Pride sort of softened it, but to get it off, just super helped to use the scraper and the glass. I mean, look how much better that is looking. You can actually see through it. And I used the scraper just on a few bits on the actual bottom of the oven as well, where there were a few bits of grease, and there was so much gunk, you see there, that had fallen down like between the oven and the door, and that was really gross. So yeah, I'm just agitating now some of the grease that is on the bottom of the oven, and then that enabled me to just wipe the rest out. Now I'm moving on to the hob and the splashback, and I'm using the pink stuff. Really like the pink stuff, but actually think that the elbow grease would have worked just as well on, depending on what you have, if you have stainless steel or how greasy your splashback is. Wasn't too bad, so I used the pink stuff, and I find the pink stuff's really good at kind of shining up stainless steel as well. And I had a really stubborn bit on one of the kind of main large hob bit that required me to use the scourer a little bit, but otherwise generally try not to use the scourer because I don't want to scratch the hob. And then this came up pretty good. What I'm doing now, I've got a cocktail stick. Just run a cocktail stick along the outside edge of your hob where it meets the counter, because I find there, you might be able to see in a minute, but it, you know, picks up quite a bit of grease that you can't quite get to with a sponge. And then just wiping down the pink stuff. The only thing with pink stuff is it does require a bit more wiping. You want to get like all the residue off, otherwise it looks a bit chalky. And then buffing that up, and had to go back, I think, over a few little spots there. And now I'm just using some of that Star Drops glass cleaner. Yes, you heard right, the glass cleaner, just a little bit of it. It is essentially a vinegar solution, and it just really helps to shine up the hob. And now drying off any last remaining bits of moisture from the filter for the oven and popping that back in. Now I'm in the utility, just cleaning the hob bits here. Just giving those a little wipe over so that I can put them back on.
Look, train!
Is there a train?
Yeah.
Wow, that's exciting. That's it?
Yeah.
That's it.
And I'll get on.
Somebody else gets on?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get on.
Jamie gets on?
I should get on that tractor. Try to get on that tractor.
JJ wants to get on the tractor?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
I've never been on a tractor.
No, you're to get on tractor.
No, never.
You're to get on tractor. And Sashi get on tractor.
JJ get on tractor?
Daddy get on tractor.
And JJ get on.
And Daddy get on tractor too.
Daddy?
Yeah.
Oh. That would be...
Mummy get on that train. Mummy, sit on that train. Sit on that train.
And now I'm taking the racks out of the bag. So these are the oven racks, and just look how greasy that solution is now. It's clear solution to start, and it's picked off so much grease. But generally speaking, I do find the Oven Pride doesn't melt all of the grease in the racks, and they do require a little bit more effort. So here I've got that minky scraper again, and I'm using that to get any really sort of stubborn bits of grease off the racks. And now the end result in terms of the oven, hob and the extractor fan, they look so much better, so shiny. You can actually see through the glass. Popped the liners back in there, and I'm really pleased with how this turned out. So now I'll be moving on to the next day. Okay, so we are coming back a couple of days later now, and as you can see, kitchen, I mean, it doesn't look matters different because what I focus on is the oven, deep clean, hob, and the extractor fan, deep clean. So we've still got a lot to sort out. A lot of stuff here on the island. I had the slow cooker going today, so I've got some food which is cooled down, ready for the fridge and freezer. And I want to tackle like all this stuff up here, clean the cupboard fronts, clean the light fittings. So yeah, let's get stuck in. So just starting off here by packing away anything that I have washed up that needs to go to one side, the slow cooker that I used that day. Now this drying rack is it's by Boone. It's meant for like baby bottles, but we love it so much that we've never stopped using it. But it does get a bit like mouldy, mildewy, and lime scale gathers. We are in a hard water area, so I really like this. That was Astonish mould and mildew spray. So spraying that on to get working, and then putting the sausage casserole I made in the freezer. Now back to the dregs of my Star Drops glass cleaner, and I'm taking out the lights and cleaning the inside of our light fittings here. And you can see just cleaning the inside of the glass actually makes quite a difference. And then the difference once I've cleaned this light on the right compared to the others is actually quite significant. So repeat the same process with the other lights, and they look all sparkly fresh. Now I'm using the glass cleaner again just on the outside of this cake stand. This cake stand we love, was a wedding present, and we got it didn't come with the glass, and I just got the glass from Amazon actually. So absolutely adore that. We've got quite a lot of stuff on the kitchen island here, including, you can see right, this is Christmas biscuits that my cousin bought, and it has like a little plays songs and has a little light show at the top. The kids are loving it. Now in the front of this cookbook stand, a lot of stuff kind of gathers: vitamins, hand cream, lip salve, and we do use these things every day. So rather than try and find a home for them, put them away in cupboards and drawers and then end up getting them back out, what I've done is I managed to free up this little Hessian storage basket when I was doing my declutter of wires. So I'm using that to put everything in, just to keep it a bit more contained, visually a bit better. So it will go back into the front of the cookbook stand where we need it, where we use it. I'm not seeking to become some kind of like uber minimalist and have absolutely nothing out on display. It's just not practical for everyday life with children. So under here there's quite a lot of grubbiness gathered, and also kind of at the kitchen island and the windowsill sort of end up being the spot where I put broken bits of toys, which is what I've got in my hand, waiting to be fixed. So what I did during this clean was I actually did fix all the little bits of toys. So I put this toy back together, then I had a couple of other toys which I super glued, and got everything toy wise out of the kitchen. So popping these back in, and you can see how much better it looks to have all those bits and bobs contained at the front. We'd always have like a few little crayons here that I'm putting together when we want the boys to like write in someone's birthday card or whatever. But here in the front of this one, I've got a load of stuff that I don't need every day. Kids' toys, thermometer, they all need to go somewhere else. So I've made sure that they went back to their actual home where we would go for them. Sorting out some paperwork. We do have a paperwork organiser in the kitchen. So some of that I'm putting in there, and some of it needs to go in the recycling. Just having a little quick check if there is any cookbooks that I want to let go of. I did do this in my very recent kitchen declutter, and I love cookbooks, and I'm sure that there are some that I'm not using regularly that I could part with, but I really love to just sort of look through them, browse through them like just like a reading book, I guess, on the weekend. So back to using the method spray just to wipe down the island and get any kind of greasy, grubby bits off before I can start putting things back. Emptying that dishwasher, which has finished, so it's all ready for the next day. Now, how often do you guys clear out your crumb collectors in your toaster? Because I have to confess, I think I largely forget these for months at a time, so they were pretty full. And then just giving the toaster a little wipe down, but that wasn't too bad at all. I do wipe around it, just never think about the crumbs. And then moving everything from here so that I can clean the windows properly, and I've saved you having to have a close-up of my bottom whilst I clean the windows by fast forwarding through this section, and then clean down the surfaces, clean down the backsplash, and it wasn't too bad, just a few crumbs around here, it isn't too bad really. We do wipe down the surfaces at the end of most days. So these containers I bought, so I'd already done my declutter of the kitchen, and I knew that there was quite a bit in this drawer that I wanted to start sort of containing in a bit of a better fashion. So we have a few like DIY bits, a few screwdrivers that we use regularly. Here I'm just putting like super glues and things like that, sellotapes and pencils, pens, etc. So all these kind of little bits that have a category, if you like, I put into these plastic containers, and this is one of my kind of favourite bits of this clean. I think it came out really well. I was really pleased by how much better it looked. We do have a decent amount in this drawer. We don't have tons of storage. It's not the biggest kitchen. It's not a small kitchen, but it's not the biggest kitchen. And these are things that we do use on a regular basis. So I'm really pleased with how that turned out. Cup of raspberry leaf tea, totally necessary, trying to get labour going. And then just the few containers I had left over, I'm using to put some of the smaller items in this cutlery utensil drawer. But I could probably do with some other sort of solution to contain some of the things in this drawer. I have decluttered it and decluttered it, and I'm confident that I want, for now at least, I want the things that are in it. It did help, as you can see. It looks a bit better having a few things that we don't use maybe every day, like the cheese knives in the back, but still feel like it needs a bit better containment. Another window to clean, and I probably didn't wear the most practical outfit for this part of the clean, as I found like it was dragging in the water. And I'm just using that glass cleaner again just to clean the front of the microwave and the oven, just to shine it up.
Won't stop for traffic lights, and I really wanna know if
And now, as we come in toward the end of this part of the clean, as I'm cleaning down the sides here and dust that's gathered on top of the tiles. And changing the head of the Dishmastic, which I pretty much ruined, sorting out those really grubby pots and pans earlier. And not forgetting the soap dispenser, which ends up covered in soap and really sticky. The whole, because I've cleaned that literally a couple of days ago, I'm just giving that a super quick, it's more of a dust than a wipe down, because I haven't used it much in those 2 days and it was just a little bit dusty, but I wanted everything done at the same time. So cleaning the Astonish off. The Astonish is pretty strong stuff, so you do want to make sure like you're in a well ventilated space when you're using it. If you're using it in a bathroom, which I do quite often in the boys' bathroom, like their bath mat that gets a bit mouldy, then make sure where there's no window in there that I'm keeping the door open. And now just wiping down the cupboard fronts, which really weren't too bad, but just a bit dusty, and the handles where they get sticky from the kids opening up the drawers, getting in the snack cupboard.
Even if the sky is falling.
So our sink, I don't know if you can see all these kind of scratches on it. Our sink is a composite granite sink. I really like the light colour, but it does get scratched up fairly easily. So what I found works like magic is pink stuff. I'm using Scrub Daddy, and that will get all of the scratches and marks off of the sink. Haven't quite found the solution to the taps, which seem to have got a bit destroyed really. So generally speaking, I try not to touch them with anything, just trying to damage limitation now. But this came up really well, sparkly clean again, putting the drying rack back. And there we go, the end result, so much better, especially that kitchen island now it's been tidied up. Everything is shiny and sorted. I mean, real life, this is where our remote control lives, so it's there for the footage. I did actually totally forget to film this originally, went to bed and then immediately got back up again to film it. So you might see, you can see my reflection, I'm actually in my pyjamas by this point. We still have stuff out. This is real life with children. We are not minimalist, but I do like to try to keep the work surfaces as clear as possible, and we have over time removed quite a bit of stuff from the kitchen. But I'm very happy having like a few utensils out and that sort of thing. Love our plants. And yeah, shiny oven, and there we go. Thank you so much for watching. I am really pleased with how this project turned out. I gave myself a time limit this evening of 2 hours, started at 8 PM, wanted to finish by 10 PM to get this project done. I have gone past that just by 10 minutes, so 2 hours 10 to finish this off. I'm really pleased with, because I generally underestimate how long it will take me to do everything. So I'm feeling a lot more settled, sorted and happy about baby's impending arrival, and just that I have got like as much done as I can. I mean, obviously at any point I could go into labour and I will just bin the rest of my projects and I'll be perfectly happy with that, but it's really nice to just get that. I mean, it's nesting, isn't it? I'm just nesting. So really nice to get this box ticked and a thorough clean of the kitchen done. I think my two most favourite things were the little organising tubs that I have in the, for want of a better description, junk drawer. It looks so much better, and also the little organising caddy in front of the cookbooks, because we have so much stuff that sits there that is necessary, that we do want to hand, and it is just, you know, rather than just packing away and then finding in a week's time we've pulled everything out and it's back pulled together in the front of the, you know, the book stand, at least we have like a proper little basket for it, and it is much more organised and contained and just aesthetically pleasing. So I really hope that you enjoyed this, you found it motivating and inspiring. If so, please give me a like, it really does help, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!
Baby, dance the night away, I'll kick my shoes off if I want.